another wonderful walk with me. It's only they're not very wonderful, but you get my drift. It is pretty nice. I like it. It's like 65, 66. A little bit chilly, but I like that because it's been like hot as balls for days upon days upon days. Oh, hiccups, sorry. So it's nice to get a little break from sweating. Today I did walk out at 5, sticking to my guns. I get 0 of my extra time because I have 0 F's to give. Anyway, not talking over today. I feel like I vented it all out. I'm there from 8:30 to 5 and that's it. That's all they've earned. When your job doesn't respect you, don't give them extras. It does not pay to go the extra mile when you don't get the extra mile back in some way. It's got to be an equal give and take, and until it is, it's just a paycheck. It's always been a paycheck. I got a bigger plan. That might not be your plan and your situation. Just be like, I'm going to look for something else. When you get that miserable, it's not so much the job. I don't mind the job. I'm a Virgo, and if you're not using my time proficiently, you're wasting my fucking time, and I don't like it. My time is valuable, and I understand, like, learning curves. It is a new company, but we're not that new, and there's a lot of kinks that should have been worked out by now, and it's just fucking annoying. Don't let your job take over your life. Like, I don't give a fuck how behind we are anymore. Every day for the last, I want to say 2 months, I've been coming in behind. Even when I bust my ass sweating and running the whole shift, I'm still behind. So you know what? I'm going to fucking go slow. I'm going to relax and I'm not going to rush. This is my body and my time. And I'll do the job. I'm not a lazy asshole. But that's it. That's all. I don't see a future here. You know? Anyway, I want to talk about accountability and, you know, media and famous people and the realism of what we as people should be accepting. Like, listen, at the end of the day, we are all human beings on a human experience. No one is perfect. We all fuck up. And sometimes those fuck ups are big. And you can turn your life around or you can turn the situation around. It's not the end of the world. You do not have to tell everybody your business. You don't ever have to fully really explain anything. You just have to take ownership. So I'm going to use Justin Timberlake since it's the trending topic. Again, I did not do my own research. We had a discussion about this, and I'm just going to spit out what I heard, where I'm getting at in all of this. Basically, I did not know before today, which I will be researching later. I just got home. I was told that it's not Justin's first DWI. And if that's the case, I'm pretty fucking pissed. It doesn't matter that he's a celebrity or whatever, but there is a double standard, and I'm getting to that. Working my way around. I was hit by a drunk driver, almost killed me. I was doing everything right. I was a fucking teenager. I didn't even have my license yet. I was still learning to drive, and it was my first time driving at night. And, you know, we were taking it slow, and I turned a corner, and the person was in my lane with their lights off going 60 and hit me head on. I was a little kid. I had 0 experience. I don't know how I lived through that or turned the wheel the way I did. Honestly, I don't even remember turning the wheel away from the giant oak ash tree, which would have killed us both. You know, and it was just, I was out there trying to learn something. I was young. I wasn't speeding. I wasn't being reckless. I was with my parent, you know, and some asshole who couldn't be fucking responsible almost took me and my mother off the planet for their own selfishness. I fucking loathe drunk drivers because I have experience with it. I always disliked it in general, but when it happens to you, that violation, the realization that people just do not give a fuck with their addictions. I'm not saying they don't give a fuck as people, but they get locked in their addictions and they just don't give a fuck. They just focus on using and getting home. From what it sounds like to me, in my own perspective, for somebody drinking other drinks, if he has a problem with alcohol and he's not supposed to be out drinking, that's shady, sketchy shit alcoholics do to not get caught. So maybe he is in some way struggling with alcoholism, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. No shade at all. I say this with love. If he was here, he'd probably be speaking out against it if he lived. But my little sister's father passed away from basically cirrhosis of the liver, amongst other things. He was a drinker for a long time, and it killed him in the end, and other addictions too. And it's a monster, and it gets in your brain and it changes the person. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how much money you come from, what kind of life you walk. Addiction strikes everybody. So I'm never going to shade somebody for having a problem. I can shade their actions and how they respond to it. To know, again, I did not do my own research, and if I find out later, I will issue a public apology. But it came from multiple people, so I don't know if it's like a trending topic that they read in an article that was garbage, or if it's like a common thing, because I'm not that huge of an NSYNC fan. But so it shows a long history of a problem. But like we were all saying, when you get to be somebody who is of Justin Timberlake level, you should have a driver. You should be able to afford an Uber. There's a million other... This isn't back in the day when I was young, when you had to call a cab, and then it would have got out on the news that Justin got in the cab drunk. You would rather have that headline than driving drunk, would you not? And again, I know addiction takes over you and you don't make the most logical choices when you are using. And that was probably pretty evident with him. But my actual problem with the whole thing and what I'm talking about, accountability, I know he said something in his concert. I don't think what he said was horrible, but I think it was very passive. I think he's gotten away with a lot in his life by being who he is, and it shows, because I have a lot of respect for people in general out here in the real world that stand up in an AA meeting and say, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. I have an addiction. Last week I did something fucked up. I don't know why I did it. I wasn't thinking. I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed, but there is no fucking excuse for what I did. This is what I did. This is the consequence, and this is what I learned from it." So had Justin got up and said, "I did a very bad, horrible thing. Nobody should do this. I could have hurt someone. I could have hurt myself. I understand the gravity of my situation, and I don't want to get too much into my personal addictions or history, whatever, but I'm facing demons, and know that I won't make this mistake again and stand by it. But I recognize how shameful it was and how wrong it was, and I apologize for my actions. I can't take them back, but I own them. I have no excuse." That would be a proper way of owning something, instead of just, "Well, it's been a bad week." What are you trying to gain there? Are you trying to gain people's sympathy because you made a really irresponsible mistake? You want people to feel bad for you? And I know he said that it's hard to love me sometimes, but keep on loving me. That's an addict excuse. They layer comments like that. I'm sure he does that in other relationships in his life, but I don't, as somebody who was hit by a drunk driver, I call that the biggest shit stain of an apology. Just be a real ass person and own it. And it's not just Justin. I'm not just shading him. A lot of celebrities read this fluffy ass fucking piece their PR team put together. Stand up there and look, I'm a dumbass. I did a stupid thing. Don't laugh or make light of it, but I mean, just be real. Like, had it been me,